Okay, so like we all know that feeling, right? That like money stress, like that oh shoot moment when you got to pick between like gas for the week or
Yeah.
those crazy expensive avocado toasts everyone's always posting about.
It's funny because it's like a universal experience, you
Right.
know? And it's
Yeah.
way more common than people
For
realize. And
sure.
it's not just about like being quote unquote bad with money.
Right.
It's a whole systemic thing that hits people from all walks of life.
Totally. And like I remember this one time right out of college, I thought I had a decent job, but I was constantly freaking out about money.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even kidding. 1 month,
Yeah.
I overdrafted buying ramen noodles.
Ramen noodle.
Ramen noodle,
No.
like the cheapest meal ever.
It's wild how one little unexpected thing can just mess up your whole month.
Yeah,
And it really shows how unstable it is to live paycheck to paycheck. Like
outright.
you're always one tiny emergency away from complete disaster.
For real. And the crazy thing is, did you know that like over 40% of Americans would actually struggle to cover a surprise $400 expense?
That's a scary statistic.
Isn't that insane? It's like we're all just walking a tightrope financially, just waiting for that one car repair or medical bill to knock us off.
Yeah, and that constant worry, that feeling of being one step away from falling apart, it can really mess with your mental health.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like this low-key anxiety that just hangs over you all the time.
Totally. And I think we need to talk more about that emotional side of things. You know,
Yeah.
it's not just about the numbers in your bank account, it's about the stress, the anxiety, that feeling of being stuck.
It can be so isolating too.
Oh, yeah.
Because people often feel ashamed to talk about their money struggles,
Right.
so they end up suffering in silence.
It's like a taboo topic.
Yeah, but the truth is that this is something that affects millions of people from all walks of life.
Okay, so let's get into the specifics of who exactly is affected by this paycheck to paycheck life.
Mm.
I think a lot of people picture someone working a minimum wage job,
Right.
but it's so much broader than that, isn't
Oh,
it?
absolutely. It goes way beyond just income or profession.
Right.
Like think about gig workers, for instance.
Yeah.
They often have unpredictable income, no benefits, and very little job security.
It's like that meme, payday today, rent due tomorrow,
Exactly.
but in real life.
Sadly, yeah. And then you've got single parents.
Oh, man,
Juggling work and childcare costs often on just one income.
that's got to be tough.
Childcare alone can be a huge financial burden.
For sure.
And then you can't forget about recent grads
Yeah.
entering the workforce with mountains of student loan debt.
It's like starting your adult life with a massive financial anchor weighing you down.
Yeah, it can take years, even decades, to dig out from under that kind of debt.
Okay, so we've established that this affects tons of different people. But why is it so widespread? What are some of the bigger picture reasons that contribute to this problem?
Well, one of the biggest factors is that wages haven't kept up with the rising cost of living. Housing, healthcare, education, all these essential things have gotten so much more expensive,
Yeah.
but wages have pretty much stayed the same.
It's like you're running on a treadmill just to stay in the same place.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
then you have things like the lack of affordable housing, especially in big cities.
Oh,
People are being forced to spend a huge chunk of their income just to have a place to live.
right. And when you're spending that much on rent,
Mm.
it leaves very little room for anything else,
Right.
let alone saving for the future.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So even someone making decent money can still end up living paycheck to paycheck if their expenses are just too high.
Okay, and then there's healthcare costs, which can be just devastating for people without good insurance.
Yeah.
One unexpected medical bill can wipe out someone's savings and put them in major debt. It's kind of crazy to think that in a wealthy country like ours, healthcare can be such a huge financial stress for so many people.
That's a big problem.
So we've talked about the rising cost of living, lack of affordable housing, healthcare costs. What else is going on here?
Well, there's also the problem of job insecurity and the whole gig economy thing.
Right.
More and more people are ending up in these unstable jobs with unpredictable income and hardly any benefits.
So even if you're working multiple jobs and hustling, you might still not have the stability to really get ahead.
Exactly. And then you have things like predatory lending practices.
Like those payday loans.
Yeah, that target people who are already struggling,
Yeah.
trapping them in cycles of debt with crazy high interest rates.
It's like the system is almost designed to keep people stuck in this cycle of financial stress.
It can definitely feel that way sometimes.
So it's clear that there's a lot going on here at a bigger level. But I think it's also important to talk about what individuals can do
Yeah.
to take control of their finances, even when it feels overwhelming.
Absolutely. While we need big changes to fix the root causes of financial insecurity,
Right.
there are still steps individuals can take to improve their situation and build a more secure future.
Okay, so let's dive into that in the next part of our deep dive. We'll talk about practical tips and strategies for navigating this paycheck-to-paycheck world.
Awesome.
And we'll explore some of the emotional and psychological sides of dealing with financial stress.
Looking forward to it. All
Fun.
right, so let's get practical.
Yeah, let's talk solutions.
People need tools, not just theories.
Exactly.
So what can people actually do to start feeling more in control of their money?
I like that, more in control.
Well, first things first, budgeting.
Okay, budgeting.
But it's not about depriving yourself.
Right.
It's about awareness
Oh,
and control.
Gotcha.
Think of it like giving every dollar a job.
I love that analogy.
Yeah, instead of your money just kind of disappearing,
Yeah.
you're making a conscious decision about where it goes.
You're in the driver's seat.
Exactly, and there are tons of methods out there.
Okay, lay it on me.
You've got the classic 50-30-20 rule,
Okay, I've heard of that one.
where 50% of your income goes to needs,
Okay.
30% to wants,
Huh.
and 20% to savings and debt repayment.
Nice. Simple and
Okay.
easy to remember.
Right, then there's the envelope system.
Envelope system.
There's this one a bit more hands-on.
Okay.
You literally divide your cash into envelopes labeled for different spending categories.
Oh, interesting.
So when an envelope's empty, you're done spending in that category for the month.
Wow, that's a great visual reminder.
Right.
Uh,
It helps with impulse purchases.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, of course, there are tons of budgeting apps.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's got an app for that.
Right. They can connect to your bank accounts, categorize your spending, and even send you alerts when you're getting close to your limits.
I feel like technology has made budgeting so much easier these days.
Definitely, you don't need a spreadsheet or a calculator anymore. You can just do it all on your phone.
Super convenient.
It's about finding what works best for you and your style.
Right.
But no matter the method, the key is consistency.
Consistency.
Make it a habit to track your income and expenses and adjust as needed.
Okay, so budgeting is key.
Mhm.
But let's be real. For a lot of people, debt is a huge part of this paycheck-to-paycheck reality.
Oh, yeah. Debt can be a monster.
So how do we tackle that beast?
First step, create a plan.
Okay, a plan of attack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Make a list of all your debts,
Okay.
including interest rates and minimum payments.
Uh-huh.
Then prioritize the debt with the highest interest rate.
Makes sense. You want to tackle the one that's costing you the most money first.
Exactly. Are there any specific debt repayment methods that you're curious about?
Well, I've heard of the snowball method and the avalanche method.
Those are the two most popular ones.
Can you break those down for us?
Sure. So the snowball method, you focus on paying off the smallest debts first,
Okay.
regardless of the interest rate.
Interesting.
It's all about building momentum and motivation.
Okay, so like a psychological boost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you have the avalanche method, which prioritizes the debt with the highest interest rate
Okay.
to save you the most money in the long run.
So snowball is more about feeling good, and avalanche is more about maximizing your savings.
Exactly. It depends on what works best for you.
Right. Different strokes for different folks.
And remember, you don't have to go through this alone.
Oh, yeah. That's important.
There are credit counseling agencies that can help you out.
Oh, that's good to know.
They can help you negotiate with creditors, create a debt management plan, even consolidate your debts.
It's so important to remember that there are resources available,
Definitely.
and there's no shame in asking for help.
None at all.
Okay, so we've covered budgeting and debt, but let's shift gears for a minute.
Okay, where are we headed?
Let's talk about building financial resilience.
I like it.
It's not just about surviving paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
It's about thriving,
Exactly. Having that cushion, that safety net,
that peace of mind.
that can help you weather those unexpected storms.
Okay, but how do you even start building that when you're already stretched so thin?
It starts with an emergency fund.
The emergency fund.
I know it sounds impossible when you're living paycheck to paycheck,
Yeah, it does.
but trust me, it's possible.
I'm listening.
Start small, even if it's just $5 or $10 a week.
So you're saying you don't have to save a ton of money right away.
Exactly.
Just small, consistent contribution.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
automate your savings.
Automate it.
So you don't even have to think about it.
Okay, I like that.
Set up a recurring transfer from your checking account to your savings account.
So it just happens automatically.
Every week or every month, whatever works for you.
It's like paying yourself first,
You got it.
making it a non-negotiable part of your budget.
Exactly. And as your emergency fund grows,
Okay,
you can start thinking about other financial goals,
like what?
like saving for retirement or investing.
Long-term stuff?
Exactly.
Okay, this is all great advice for individuals,
Yeah.
but we can't ignore the bigger picture stuff,
Right.
the systemic issues that contribute to financial insecurity.
The elephant in the room.
Exactly. Because personal responsibility can only go so far when the system is working against you.
You're absolutely right. While we can and should take steps to improve our own financial situations,
Uh-huh.
we also need to address the bigger issues
The root causes.
that make it so hard for so many people to get ahead.
Okay, so let's talk policy.
Yeah.
What are some changes that could help level the playing field
Good question.
and create a more just and equitable economic system?
Well, first and foremost, raising the minimum wage.
Okay.
It's been stuck for too long, and it's just not enough to live on in most places.
Right, it's not a living wage.
Exactly.
Uh.
Increasing the minimum wage would help low-income families
For sure.
and boost the economy.
It's win-win.
Totally. What about affordable housing?
Yeah, that's a huge issue.
It's become a crisis in many cities.
With rent prices through the roof.
Exactly. We need to invest in affordable housing initiatives.
Like what kind of initiatives?
Things like expanding rental assistance programs, promoting mixed-income housing developments,
Okay.
and providing tax incentives for developers to build more affordable units.
Yeah, so basically making it easier for people to find decent housing they could actually afford.
Exactly. And we can't forget about healthcare.
Oh yeah, healthcare is huge.
Yeah. Medical debt is a crushing burden for so many families.
And access to quality, affordable healthcare is essential.
Absolutely. We need to work towards a system where everyone has access to healthcare, regardless of their income or job.
I think most people would agree with that.
This could involve expanding Medicaid, negotiating lower drug prices, and promoting preventative care.
Those are all big changes.
They are, but they require political will and public support.
So what can our listeners do to advocate for these issues and make their voices heard?
Well, it starts with being informed and engaged in the political process.
Okay, so like doing your research,
Okay.
staying up to date on the issues, and then what?
Contact your elected officials, join advocacy organizations, attend town hall meetings.
Okay.
Share information about these issues with your friends and family.
Use your voice. Spread the word.
Exactly. It's about using your voice and your vote to create a more just and equitable society.
Where everyone has the opportunity to thrive.
Exactly. And remember, even small actions can make a difference.
I love that message.
Every phone call, every email, every conversation can help move the needle.
We can all be part of the solution.
We can.
So we've covered a lot today, from practical budgeting tips
Yeah?
to big picture policy changes.
It's been a journey.
It's clear that financial insecurity is a complex issue,
For sure.
but it's not insurmountable.
Absolutely not.
There's hope, there are solutions, and we can all play a role in creating a better future.
I completely agree. With the right tools, support systems, and a collective commitment to change, we can build a more financially secure and just world for everyone.
Well said. It's not going to happen overnight,
Right.
but every step we take brings us closer to that goal.
Absolutely.
All right, so welcome back to our deep dive into this whole paycheck to paycheck thing.
Yes. Yeah.
We've talked about practical stuff like managing your money, tackling debt,
Right.
even pushing for bigger changes in the system.
Uh-huh.
But there's this one crucial part we haven't really touched on yet,
What's that?
the emotional and psychological side of it all.
Ah, yeah, the mental and emotional toll it takes.
It's something we often forget about,
For sure.
but that constant stress of worrying about money can really mess with our mental and emotional well-being.
It goes way beyond just numbers on a spreadsheet.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
about the anxiety, the fear, the feeling of being trapped.
Absolutely. Like, imagine this. You're lying in bed trying to sleep,
Okay.
but your mind is racing,
Huh?
going over every unpaid bill.
Yeah.
Every upcoming expense,
Yeah.
every potential financial disaster.
I know that feeling all too well.
It's like a weight on your chest,
Totally.
making it hard to breathe.
You can't relax.
And that constant worry can lead to chronic stress, anxiety, even depression.
It's a serious thing.
It can mess with your sleep, your appetite, even your relationships.
I remember when I was going through a really tough time financially.
Yeah.
I was so on edge all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I'd snap at my family, couldn't focus at work, felt this huge sense of shame, and like I was totally isolated.
It's common. A lot of people feel that way. Financial insecurity can make you feel like you're failing, like you're not good enough.
That's tough.
It attacks your self-worth, makes you question everything.
It's like this vicious cycle.
A downward spiral.
The financial stress leads to all these negative emotions,
Right.
which then make it even harder to make good financial decisions,
Uh-huh.
which just leads to more stress.
Exactly. It's exhausting.
Totally exhausting.
And it's important to remember that those feelings are normal.
You mean like it's okay to feel that way?
Yeah, you're not weak or flawed for feeling stressed or anxious about money.
Right.
It's a natural reaction to a tough situation.
So what can we do about it?
What can we do to manage those emotional challenges?
Yeah. How do we deal with the stress and anxiety of living paycheck to paycheck?
Well, first things first, acknowledge your feelings.
Yeah.
Don't try to bottle them up or pretend they're not there.
Gotcha.
Give yourself permission to feel stressed, anxious, even angry.
It's like that saying, what you resist persists.
Exactly. The more you try to push away your emotions, the stronger they become.
So instead of fighting them, we should try to understand them.
That's it.
Okay.
Explore where those feelings are coming from, what triggers them, and how they show up in your body and your behavior.
So self-awareness is key.
Absolutely. Paying attention to your thoughts, your feelings, your physical sensations can help you spot those early warning signs of stress.
Okay.
And then you can take steps to manage it.
Are there specific things we can do?
Oh, tons of tools and techniques out there.
Like what?
Mindfulness meditation, deep breathing exercises, journaling, spending time in nature.
All those good things.
These can help calm your nervous system and cultivate a sense of inner peace.
I'm a big fan of spending time in nature.
Me too.
Even a short walk in the park can really change my mood.
Nature's super restorative.
And don't forget about connecting with other people.
Is so important.
Talk to a trusted friend or family member, seek professional counseling, or join a support group.
Sharing your struggles can really help.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes you feel less alone, less ashamed, more supported.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that we're all in this together.
For sure. And self-care is crucial.
Can't emphasize that enough.
It's easy to let it slide when you're overwhelmed,
Oh,
but it's essential for our mental and emotional well-being.
it doesn't have to be fancy or time-consuming either.
Okay, so what are some simple things people can do?
Take a few minutes each day to stretch,
Okay.
practice gratitude,
Uh-huh.
or listen to your favorite song.
Little things that make a big difference.
Exactly. It's about finding those moments of peace and joy in the midst of all the chaos.
I like that.
Reminding yourself that you're worthy of care and attention.
And it's about changing your mindset.
From scarcity to abundance.
Okay, explain that.
Instead of dwelling on what you don't have,
Right.
focus on what you do have. Your health, your loved ones, your talents, your resilience.
It's about reframing our perspective.
Exactly. Choosing to focus on the positive instead of the negative.
Powerful stuff.
And remember, financial freedom is a journey, not a destination.
Okay, a journey.
There will be ups and downs, but every step you take, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction.
So to everyone out there who's feeling the weight of this financial stress,
Yeah,
please know you're not alone.
you're not alone at all.
There's hope, there's help, and there's a path forward.
Reach out, connect, and take one small step today towards a brighter tomorrow.
I love that.
You are capable, you are resilient, and you deserve a life filled with joy, peace, and abundance.
Beautiful, well said.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the reality of living paycheck to paycheck.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope this conversation has given you some valuable insights,
Yeah,
some practical tips,
for sure.
and a renewed sense of hope.
Absolutely. Remember, every step matters, and together we can create a world where everyone has the chance to thrive.
That's what it's all about. Thanks for listening.
Oh,